Hi friends, I just thought I would come on and share an adventure that Michael and I went on about 2 Saturdays ago, maybe three. So we went down to Amish country in Ohio. It is one of the largest segments of Amish people. Um, I like to go down there. There's a lot of homemade things, and it's just a nice drive. It's very pretty. A lot of farmland, just a very, very pretty place to go. Very relaxing, a lot of cheese, and a lot of goodies, like a lot of pastries and things like that. There's farms there that you can go visit. I don't think we did not visit a farm. So I'll put some footage in at the end of this video just to kind of show you some of the things that I'm talking about. So I just want to kind of talk about what my experiences are with some of the places being a disabled person and using a walker and or a wheelchair, and some of the challenges that I faced, some of the obstacles I faced. um, so the first stop that we made was there was a Jeep meet. There was I can't tell you how many Jeeps, like 50 maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of Jeeps and they were all done up and decorated, and a lot of ducks and things like that. And I was very excited to see that. If you know me, you know that I love, love, love Jeeps of all makes, models, but I especially love the Wranglers. Um, if I could get into one, I would have one, but again, that's just an obstacle being a disabled person. Not really mm, realistic for me, I guess you would say. They're very high and hard to get into. I'm sure I could figure out a way, but I don't know that I want to do that every day. And also, they're kind of small. You probably couldn't fit a wheelchair and a walker and everything that I need, especially if we were going to take the dogs, which we didn't take them this time. Um, so my impressions of were obviously I love the Jeeps. So many that I voted for. I'm not sure who won. We didn't stay for that. But one of the challenges that was a little bit disappointing was all of the Jeeps were parked on a grassy, hilly area. And I understand. I mean, they're Jeeps. You want to show off things they can do and places, terrains they can go over, things like that. Um, so I could see them from like the top of the hill parking lot area, but I couldn't go down and actually look at a lot of the Jeeps. There were quite a few parked in the parking lot that I could, um, but neither my wheelchair or either one of my walkers. I do have two different walkers, depending on the terrain again, the ground that I'm walking on. Neither one of my walkers would be able to manage that hill and the grass and everything. So I didn't get to go very far, but did get to see quite a few really cool Jeeps. So I will put a little video in at the end of the Jeeps that I did get to see. And then from there, we went over we drove into Berlin, Berlin, Ohio, where a lot of the um, Amish shops are. And we just kind of drove around. I haven't been down there in a while, so I wanted to see some of the new things. We used to go, my mom and I used to go down every fall, so it was kind of like, I don't think I've been there since she's passed away, maybe one time. The only other time that we were down there, Michael and I went down, I believe, one time to just kind of visit and look around. And the only other time was a couple months ago when we went down and we got Bailey. She is not a puppy mill dog. She's nothing like that. I did research the kennel. It just happens to be located down that way. Not quite in Amish, but down that way. So we did spend the day in Amish that day. Um, but we did stop at a couple of my favorite stores, one being Kaufman's Bakery. So my impressions of Kaufman's Bakery as a disabled person were um, was fairly accessible. I used a walker. I was able to get up. There's a ramp. There's stairs. You can go up the stairs, but there's also a ramp. So I was able to go up the ramp. The only thing that was a little difficult is the aisles are a little bit narrow. So that makes it a little bit difficult, but pretty experienced in narrow walkways and things. So I was able to navigate fairly well. We bought a lot of, not a lot, but we did buy some candy. We bought an apple. I think it was like an apple cider jelly, something like that. An apple. no, caramel apple jelly, maybe something like that. I always like to buy the jellies that are homemade down there. Um, we bought some cookies. Obviously, it's a bakery, so we bought cookies, a loaf of bread, pepperoni roll, just things like that. Really, really yummy, tasty things. And right across the street from Hoffman's is Heine's Cheese Shop. If you've never been to Heine's, I'll link their website below. There, that's really neat. The one side you go in and it's just all cheese, and they do have tasters, samples, whatever you want to call it, little bowls set out with toothpicks. And so my impression of Heine's, let me finish, because the other side of Heine's, there's a candy shop and um, kind of like a little gift shop. It's pretty big. So I did use the wheelchair at Heine's. It was a lot of walking, and I just didn't want to wear myself out. Um, I sometimes tend to alternate between the wheelchair and the walker. So we did use the wheelchair. They do have a ramp to get in, or you can go upstairs. So obviously we use the ramp. The other thing I do like about Heine's is they do have a wheelchair you could actually borrow while you're there, which is very nice. Outside of Heine's, there is a guy that makes kettle corn, and it's really good. Um, the only obstacle that I guess I came across, but we navigated okay. When you're sitting in the wheelchair, you can read the signs of the cheese, but you can't see the cheese, and you can't reach the samples, which was okay because I had Michael and he was getting me all the samples I needed. Um, that was the only real issue I saw with Heine's. It wasn't very crowded at the time we went. I think we went later in the day, so that was a good thing. We do try to avoid the crowds, especially when we have to use a wheelchair. Um, and the rest of the store was actually fairly wheelchair accessible, and I could reach the things that I needed to, or see things. And then from Heine's, I think we just drove around a little bit more. Again, just looking at some of the sites and everything. And we went to, before we left Amish country, we went to um, Dutch Valley, um, Dutch Valley restaurant. It was one of my mom's favorites, and they have, like, salad bar and everything. We went at a good time. There weren't a lot of people. It wasn't real busy. It got busy as we were there, so it was looked like maybe in between lunch and dinner. Um, and again, I used the walker. It was fairly easy to get into. Again, there was a ramp, then there was plenty of handicap parking. All of that, they were very kind. They were able to seat me fairly close to the salad bar. We put my walker out of the way when I wasn't using it. The salad bar was very fresh. It was really good. We just got this salad bar with the hot bar, so it's a salad, and then you could get the chicken and the mashed potatoes and all the good Amish things. And from there, it was attached to that is a little gift shop. So we went through there and we bought some things there, and we ended up grabbing a coffee for the ride home. So it was kind of our day in Amish. I do know from experience there are some things that walker wheelchair not accessible, or very difficult. Things like that. Some of the buildings are older, so they have a step up into it, and they're just it's just the way it is, and that's okay. Um, oh, I did forget, we did go to also went to Zink's Fabric while we were there, and that is completely handicap accessible. It's a huge warehouse of fabric. It's an outlet fabric, so I did get quite a few things for I'm sorry, Tater's moving. Quite a few things for my quilting. Here's Tater. She seems to like to make her appearance. And say hi. Say hi, Tate. Um, so I got some things for my quilting, and it was it's exciting because this weekend starts the All Ohio Shop Hop, so I do have a head start on that. So those are just some of my impressions of some of the things that we've done. I don't think there's anything else really to say about that day. Again, we always start at Dunkin', so had my Dunkin' and we went on down to Amish. Again, one of my very favorite things to do is to just go drive there. I don't care if I don't get out of the car, which is okay too. They do have public restrooms along the way, or along the main strip. There is a couple public restrooms, so that wasn't a problem. Handicap accessible. And that's just life with RA. So again, I will put the videos in at the end. I think I have. You should see some of the Jeeps. You'll see Kaufman's. I don't think I got anything at Heine's. Maybe just some of the scenery. So, all right. Well, until our next adventure, have fun, guys. Have a great week. I do have some videos planned coming up. I do have a small Avon haul I may do. And then, like I said, the shop hop starts this weekend. So I look forward to filming some of that and showing you some of the things that I get along my travels with the shop hop. Michael's birthday is coming up and we are going to the Asian Lantern Festival at Cleveland Zoo. So I'll show you some of that. And until the next one, guys, take care. It's Saturday and it's time for an adventure. Let's see where this day takes us. First stop, all things begin at Dunkin'. See you in a bit.
Here's your stitch.